Squabble up, squabble up. Let's go ahead and spill some tea, guys. Let me go ahead and spill some tea. Squab, squab, squab. Squab, squab, squab. Squab, squab, squabble up. Squabble up, everybody. Let me go ahead and spill some tea. So today, I'm going to be talking about a very unique concept. This concept has to do with monetizing your pets, cats, kids, and dogs. So how do we do this? How do we take this to the next level? I'm going to go ahead and try to spill the tea and explain to you how this works. So I'm gonna show you how to become the next wave of creators. So this way, if you're a mom over 40, you can learn how to spend money while having fun, while doing so at your own pace. So this is a very unique concept. Some of you will say, well, I never seen this concept. How do you do this? Well, you see, guys, you have to be creative. For example, right now I went ahead and I kind of started off with using my hands. Now, of course, in the process of creating those videos, what I'm doing, I'm also calming you down with those gestures. So across socials, if you really want to connect, you kind of have to use your hands. That's one way of kind of carry your knowledge across that will create more learning effectiveness in the eyes of others. Now, this is not a sign language. I could tell you, I could promise you that, but it has a unique set of kind of functionalities. So when you start creating any kind of life, you could use something very creative. So your hands allows you to kind of communicate that creativeness with other people. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and like grab a cup of coffee real quick and kind of just try to explain it to you a little bit more for how this whole concept works. So guys, look, what I'll do next, I'll share some screen. I'll show you guys some ways for how to monetize your pets, cats, and dogs. But I'm also, I'm in the process of drinking some coffee. So I figured I'd do something very unique for you guys to get you kind of understand how to become the next wave of creators. And one of the ways to do that is to be very unique. So if you got a cup of coffee, well, and you could do this with your hand gestures, congratulations, you're doing something unique. So guys, obviously, the next thing which you need to understand is how to operate across all of those social channels, how to combine coffee together, physical coffee with digital tea and digital coffee, so you can make money across multiple channels. And of course, to pull this off, what you need to do is understand how all of those socials operate. So the quicker you understand that, the easier it's going to be for you to learn. So let me go ahead and take a small sip of coffee real quick. Mm, really good coffee, really incredible coffee, guys. So sometimes you gotta, um, take, get some coffee, drink it, and have a little fun in the process. Okay, so let's, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the screen. So I'm gonna try to share a window with you, and it will probably be a very good window of my Zoom. So right now you will see my Zoom notification. On the right hand side, you'll see my hand. It's still there, waving for you and ready to show you all of those different complexities. So this way you could kind of get ahead of the game and spawning money quickly across different socials, monetizing your pets, cats, and dogs, just being really on top of the game. So let me see, what can I do? What kind of media can I use to squabble up together with you closer and kind of help you better understand this? Maybe I'll do whiteboard, ed and sticky whiteboard. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of a whiteboard to kind of help you guys list the ideas. And so essentially, this is what we're doing right now. We are going to be organizing some of those ideas together with you. Hopefully, you could see that. Let me go ahead and make sure that we do. Let me sharing and share again the Zoom window screen. And right now, you can see the whiteboard. Okay, so we got a couple of ideas over here. So this is just a whiteboard. This is what we're going to be brainstorming together with you to help you monetize your pets, cats, and dogs. So the first thing, the most important part, is to understand what exactly are we doing. So we're definitely going to need it works best when we have 6 to 10 members, and the time for this is going to be like 1 hour for us to navigate, to brainstorm some of those ideas and get those ideas to production. So the first works, how it works. we'll have 20 minutes to identify actions or practices that are not effective or hindering progress. So um, that are effective and that are effective and not hindering progress. So that's kind of the first step. That's what we're gonna try to identify those actions or practices in order for you to monetize your pets, cats, and dogs. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna suggest new actions or practices that could lead to improvement of those practices. Actually, you know, I need to revert that. Identify actions or practices that are not effective. Actually, it was correct. I just needed to read the next statements and or hindering progresses. Okay, so yeah, that kind of makes more sense. Okay, so how do we do this? So the most important part for you guys is to kind of understand that this part. So step two is going to be suggest new actions, and step three is going to be recognize actions or practices that are working well and should be maintained. Okay, so that's kind of the gist of the circumstance. And let me just kind of quickly go on my YouTube channel just to make sure that I'm auditable. Okay, and yeah, so let me just make sure that I'm audible. Okay, I think I'm up. Let me see. Hello, hello. Okay, I think I'm up. Let me see. Okay, hello, I think I'm audible. Okay, I think I'm up. Let me see. Okay, I think I'm audible. Okay, I think I'm. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Just wanted to make sure that I am audible. And yeah, so we'll continue with a couple of those brainstorming exercises, guys. And yeah, so let me just kind of delete the other one. And it looks like one of my other videos is picking up pace. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. Today I'm going to be talking about how to monetize the heck out of your pets, cats, and dogs, and how to do so with style. What I did is I pulled out this kind of a whiteboard over here. Inside of this whiteboard, you could see all of those different kind of steps. And yeah, so let's kind of let's try to identify what processes that are not effective or hindering our progress in um, monetizing our pets, cats, and dogs. So the first thing what I wanted to do is I could use the sticky notes over here to kind of create stop, start, and continue. So this is just ideas. This is how to organize ideas, guys, before you begin doing anything. So the first step is we could kind of drag and drop each of this idea and carry that over further. So list of ideas that we must stop doing. Okay. So let's think about it. In order for us to maximize our chances of monetizing pets, cats, and dogs, we need to stop certain activities. We need to stop certain atomic habits that we are currently experiencing. What would that be? How about pivoting too much, pivoting too much? So we need to stop this practice, pivoting too much from one idea to another. That could be a good thing that we need to focus on. And how do we solve that? So, and list of ideas to start doing. This is something that we're gonna introduce here in this column over here. But the first and most important thing is how do we stop, um, like, how do we stop pivoting from one idea to another? How do we stop that infinite thought process? So that's kind of the first uh, thing that we need to resolve. The second thing is how do we money? How do we? Where do we get a cat? Where do we get a cat? And the next thing is how do we create content? Okay, how do we create content for that cat? And okay, list of. But this is the idea is this is kind of like should we stop doing that? Should we stop looking for a cat? Let's revert that. Where do how to okay how to what we actually need to do is what we need to stop doing. Let me think about this. What we need to stop doing. I'm kind of thinking from myself perspective. Hmm. creating too much content, create cat, too much cat content without looking at the data, Okay, so we need to stop doing that. Okay, the next thing is spending too much time on threads for 10 to 20, 30 views per thread. We need to stop doing that. Okay, what else? Let's go ahead and drag some more. What else do we need to stop doing? We need to stop teaching to infinity and start providing actionable advice. Okay, I like that. So this is the ideas that we need to actually stop doing. So if you're mom over 40 and you're just struggling to figure out how to do this exercise, this works really well. And of course, guys, um, this is what we need to stop. So let's go ahead and take another card. What else do we need to stop doing? We need to stop. We need to stop. I already talked about creating content. We need to stop using too many tools and send. Okay, too many tools. Okay, I like that. This is good. And what else? We need to stop using too many tools, spending too much time on threads for 10 to 30 threads. So we need to stop that. Let's see what would be the next idea. If you are my audience right now, guys, think about this. What would you like? This is what we're working with, how it works. So as you guys can see, my hand is over here, guys. Hopefully you could see it. Thank you guys for joining. So as you can see, my hand is kind of waving at you, saying hello, hello everybody. We need to be focusing on ideas that we need to stop doing. So I could think of those ideas as atomic habits. So we need to stop atomic habits. Now, stop. I could probably create a pen over here and put atomic habits. Atomic habits. First, we need to kind of identify those atomic habits to figure out exactly what we could do with them in order to grow further. Yeah, the quicker we do this, the easier it's going to be for us to make progress. If you don't identify them, then of course, guys, it's going to be problematic for us. So, okay, cool. So I kind of like this idea. The next thing is I'm going to do a little cooking on YouTube on my phone. Now, this is something you're not seeing yet. You only see in my hand and you only see in my phone. In fact, as you can see right now, what we're doing, guys, is you're probably wondering and pondering, like, what exactly are we doing? Let me go ahead and show you my screen. So this is what we're doing now. And this is my phone over here. As you can see, it's a phone. In fact, there's several phones in here involved in a process. And what I'm going to do, welcome to chat. Remember and guard your privacy, abide community guidelines. Okay, cool. So a couple of things. What we got to understand, guys, is the following. What we need to do is, well, we're going to take those two phones over here and we're going to make something out of them. We're going to make some money with those phones. But in order for us to make money with those phones, we need to kind of identify what exactly are we dealing with. Are we dealing with a complicated business system or simple business system? And based on what we're going to discover, we're going to kind of update this flow over here. Well, update this brainstorming board that will guide us in making the right decisions. Of course, guys, in order for you to make the right decision, you need to understand what the atomic habits you're dealing with. And as you can see right now, I'm kind of showing you the picture, and I have two phones over here, and those are the phones I'm using. Those are the two phones that we could squabble up together with and spawn money. But how do you do this? How do you spawn money in this world of high cardinality, heterogeneous complexities? How do we do this? The question is indeed valid. How do we monetize our pets, cats, and dogs? How do we do so in a way that we stand out from the competition? How do we do this in a way where all makes total sense? how. So, look, the most important part, guys, is to understand where you're going with that mission. So, what kind of mission do we have? Well, we want to monetize pets, cats, and dogs. We got a bunch of phones over here. We got to use those phones and make money. Those money will not just appear in front of us unless we transfer energy from that phone into the digital screen. Now, what kind of a screen are we dealing with? Well, we're dealing a fairly like big screen over here. I have a humongous screen, guys, in front of you. And of course, what I could probably do is show it to you, but let me see. I'll probably need to join live session, and kind of show it to you. But for now, what I do, I could kind of just share it with you on my Slack channel, just so this way you can see it. It's a pretty cool deal if you could see that, because guess what? You get to understand it better. I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing, and I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing. So this way you can kind of see what's going on. This way you could see the picture, you could see the window. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share this window, share, woohoo, and now you can see this screen. That's my setup. This is my setup. This is what I work with to build beautiful business models. So this, okay, this, yeah, this screen over here that you're seeing over here in this picture is what I'm. This is my setup. This is how I make money. Now, how do you need to have the same setup too? Not really. You could still use phones like that as long as you have at least maybe like one or two phones. Um, One is good to start with, but down the road you definitely want to have two. Why? Because you could do all sorts of tea spilling activities on both phones. For example, right now I'm holding one of the phones, and I'm gonna open up threads, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'll be spilling tea as I'm talking. I'm gonna be using my hand gestures, and I'm gonna be describing some of those threads. And you're gonna see how um, my style of conversation, um, how my style of presenting content start really evolving over time when I read from my own threads that I pre-created. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out this thing over here, my phone. This is my setup, and I'll start reading some of those threads just so you could see. This way you can understand how all the mechanics, how all of this happening. So the first thing what I do is I'm gonna read you a story. Okay, so I met with one of my buddies, spending insane amount of money doing this, branded drop shipping products from China. Ha, he literally does 0 to 5K in just a week with realistic brand results. He takes a brand new product, researches it, then uses meta ads to expand on it and make money with it. How far is that? And I've seen his results. It works like a clock. If your mom over 40 and want to learn how to pull this off, join my thread stack bootcamp workshops where I break down the teeth of how it works. Also, I met one of the TikTok girls who worked for TikTok, who was actually an intern who also prints money. And if you're a mom over 40 and want to find out um, how she does it and want to learn her algorithms that she discovered while being that intern, then definitely squabble up, squabble up. So this way you could get an understanding for how to do this. So that's the idea, guys. As long as you understand. Right now, what I did is I actually read what I did right now, guys. If you're looking at my hand, if you're looking at that content, and thank you for joining, guys. What I'm holding right now is two phones right here, and on one phone, I'm reading thread, and of course, you guys already know what is a thread. If not, then jump into my other workshop to learn what is a thread. But effectively, this is when you have a phone, you have like a second brain next to you. But the truth is, a lot of moms over 40, they don't understand how to use that second brain in a way where you could just read stuff out and do so while presenting content. So that is what I wanted to say. Now, that you have seen my setup. Stop sharing the screen. And I'm gonna share the screen again for the atomic habits for what we're doing right now. I'm gonna share that. And as you can see, this is the screen. This is our atomic habit. This is how it works, guys. Let me go ahead and break down how it works. So here's how it works. I have a phone on one side, and I have another phone on the other side. Like I have two phones. So how do I navigate? How do I make money with both of those phones while presenting, while holding those phones, two iPhones, squabbled up together? How do I make money? How, like, what I need to do? I'm gonna go ahead and describe it to you. The first thing, guys, you need to do to make money, you need to understand how the whole concept works. So over here, as you know, as I mentioned to you earlier, what we're doing, we including all of our atomic habits that we're trying to stop. Okay. So of course, guys, you already know how to stop those atomic habits. You just need to kind of write them down. Okay. Once you write them down, it's going to be relatively easy for you to make progress. So we need to stop using too many tools. That's one of them. Okay, we're going to try to stop that. What's another one? Well, we need to stop teaching to identify and start providing actionable advice. Okay, we need to do that. What else? Spending too much time on threads for 10 to 30 views per thread. What we need to do, we need to stop that. Creating too much pet content without looking for the data. Okay, we need to stop that. Pivoting too much from one idea to another. Okay, we need to stop that. So we kind of declared all the ideas that we need to stop. And of course, guys, just make sure you have at least a phone and one more phone, at least two phones. So right now I'm just kind of holding two phones. Just make sure you have them available. And trust me, guys, the more you work on those atomic habits, the easier it's gonna be for you to make progress. Remember, progress only comes from removing atomic habits. If you remove the atomic habits, you're gonna create space for new ideas. Okay? So, how do you create space for new ideas? How do you create that space? Well, the most important part, guys, is to recognize what is it that you're missing. What is it? What is it? What is it that you're missing? Try to recognize that. Okay? So right now I just put a couple of things that you're missing. I put them over here with a sticky card on the board. What we're trying to do, we're trying to stop your atomic habits. We're trying to help you make more space in your mind to come up with new incredible ideas. Now, of course, if you create more space in your mind, you're going to be able to grow new ideas. You're going to have more progress. You're going to be able to have less stress. That's basically what it comes down to. And to create less stress, all you need to do is start writing down those ideas. So the next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on FUD, and I'm going to create like a little workshop on FUD. And another thing that I see many moms over 40 not doing, they're not using multiple phones to stream across multiple platforms at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that works. And of course, in the process of you doing that, you kind of got to understand that a lot of people not doing that because they're not necessarily aware that you could do that. But don't worry, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so okay, guys, right now, what you see me do, you see me holding a phone. You see me in real time. But did you know that you could have a little window that shows your actual brand from OBS, that shows you kind of like a little window from OBS. OBS is a little studio that you could set up running in. On the back of that studio, you could see, you could have a bunch of your videos kind of playing around, and you could just have a really good kind of streaming environment. And of course, apps is interesting to set up, especially if you have set it up before. It's fairly trivial. If not, I could walk you through the process of setting it up. And of course, guys, App Studio is what I use. And of course, what I'll do is I'll try to set it up quickly right now. And when I go live, And the way, probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to just share the screen and sharing and turn on the sharing again, but do so from the standpoint of view. Okay. Okay. I'm going to share. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my ops, my setup. Okay. So I'm going to show you share ops. Okay. I'm sharing it now. This is my ops. So I'm hoping that you guys could see that. Let me just make sure that you can actually see that. I'm going to move that live streaming further. And of course, guys, you could see my setup. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and share with you what am I doing exactly? Like, what am I doing to monetize pets, cats, and dogs? So, guys, look, the most important part that nobody tells you about is your setup. So, over here with OBS, you definitely got to have this thing over here, like your central image. You could control what kind of images you could add just by editing it here. But what you want to do, you also want to introduce, so you want to have image and you want to have display capture. So that display capture is something really unique. What you need to do, you need to kind of understand how to set everything up. So for video capture device, you got to ask yourself, what is this video capture device? What are we doing right now? We're setting up the environment. The environment so this way you can make a lot of money. But to understand how to make a lot of money, you need to go through this hurdle. So I have multiple scenes over here. So I have this scene, I have this scene, different scenes. So right now on top, you could kind of see my uh, kind of a scene one. Then you have this scene over here. So I'm switching between scenes. Now I need something better. I need to do something really unique. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do something unique by adding. Let's try. Okay, display camera. So camera is pointing to, like, how does this work? So this is just the display camera. What does it show? It shows something very interesting. It shows um, this the screen, right? So how do we do this in a way that it shows the right screen? So we're gonna right click on it and we're gonna try. There's different scale filtering, blending mode, full screen, window, projector source. So screenshot. We could do window projector. Okay. So as you can see, we have that Windows projector. I kind of took it outside and you could drag and drop it. So now you're gonna be like, okay, what else can I do? What can I show? So essentially, you gotta ask yourself um, what kind of video sources you want to add. For example, you could add a media source, or you could do window capture, or you could do browser. So what do you choose? I'm gonna talk about what you need to choose, but think about it. If you do display capture, so let's say you do display capture, what will it do? So once again, guys, I'm gonna hit, to make it easier, I'm just gonna hit plus, select display capture. I'm gonna call it left, top left screen, top left screen. Okay, okay, boom. Okay, so I created this top left screen. The question is, what are the settings that I should be picking here? I could pick automatic. I could pick another one. Let's just say, okay, I'm just gonna hit okay. Okay. So we got two screens. We got two screens. What is going on? It doesn't seem like a good idea. Whatever it was, we're gonna remove that. Uh, yes, we're gonna remove that. Boom. Okay. So this is what it looks like now on this scene. We could actually, we could duplicate. we're gonna make it scene 4. Okay, scene 4. Okay, and you could kind of see my setup over here, right? You could kind of see my Discord, right? You could see all of those different kind of, this is Slack. So this is what I'm showing you over here is my setup. Over here, you could kind of, on the left-hand side, you just see leads and just basically like how everything is set up. So now what I need to do, so I have kind of display capture 3, leads, display capture 3, and like this, scene 3, scene 4, and scene 2. So I'm switching between scenes. I could go ahead and do another duplicate. Let's do another duplicate. Scene 6. Okay. So for scene 6, if you look at scene 3, we got display capture 3, right? If we look at scene 6, there is no display capture 3, right? There's just image, image, image. So this one has display capture 3, and this one has just an image. So what we're gonna do next, guys, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna do CMD, we're gonna do partial. So I'm gonna quickly do the partial. Yeah. So you could kind of see WSL minus shutdown. Yeah, I just had to do something to turn off the Docker. Okay, so Docker is just a container that I'm using to do everything. So over here, we're just gonna add, we're gonna try to replicate that screen. So it's on the left-hand side, we're gonna go back to scene 6, and we're gonna add display. We're gonna add display capture. Okay, display capture, and we're gonna do okay. Okay. So right now we're just doing display capture like this. So now we got like a display capture within display capture, and we could do delete like this, remove. So we're gonna remove it just to kind of, so this way you guys could see the differences between the display capture. And now what we could do, we could add another one. We could do maybe image slideshow, Windows capture. We could do, let's do Windows capture. Windows capture is sharing a window. Okay, and what window? Let's do Zoom. So right now we're just doing Zoom capture like this. I'm gonna remove that again. Let's do browser. Let's do. So this is how you could include your own website together with your image and have combination of both. And between when you're ready to switch between scenes, you just do it like this. So right now I'm showing my Slack. I have multiple monitors, and as you can see, I have different channels. Okay. So if I quickly wanted to jump from one scene to another, I could do so easily just by going between scenes. Okay. So now that you guys kind of understand that, the next important thing is after setting up scenes, you have to understand the most important part, um, what you need to have in the middle. So in the middle, you have like this thing you could drag and drop. You could make it smaller like this. But in the middle, you need to have something. So ideally, what you want to have in the middle is your display. So what I typically do, I do a copy. As you can see, I'm just gonna do a duplicate copy. And now that I have, I'm just gonna call it scene 7. Okay. So now I created scene 7. I'm gonna switch between scene 7 and scene 3. As you can see, scene 3. Okay. Scene 7. Scene 3. This is where my leads, if I switch between scene 7 and scene 3, you probably notice that I have leads over here, right? This is where leads are getting dropped, okay? And of course, now that you kind of understand that, uh, what I'm gonna do next is create another one that will be, so this is a display capture. It says display capture 3. I could take a look at the properties of the display capture. It talks about display capture 3, and it shows this, and it shows different monitors. So all of this is different monitors, guys. Okay, so if you have multiple monitors, kind of understand that. Okay, so now that you kind of understand this, the question is, how do you do this on YouTube? How do you stream on YouTube? Well, before we talk about that, let's include more scenes. Okay, so this is scene 6, this is scene 3. Okay, so you could switch between scene 6. So scene 6, you could give it a name. You could give it a name, and you could call it, if you rename it. So I'm just gonna call it scene 6 website and community, right? Like this. So this way you could quickly see. Then scene 3 is, you're gonna rename, and we're gonna call it Slack and community. Okay, we're gonna do it like, we're gonna move it a bit closer. This is just a real quick setup for how to set up a screen, guys. That's what we're doing. Now let's go ahead and add a camera. Okay, so you see the differences between this one and this one, right? So notice how I'm gradually doing this, right? This one and this one. Okay, so let's talk about what we're gonna do for in the middle. Let's try to introduce something in the middle. So right now this workshop is all about setting up, monetize your pets, cats, and dogs, and setting up your apps. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna add something similar as what's in. Let's go to scene. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna add, if you do video capture, what is that? Let's see. That gotta be, that gotta be the camera. Properties. So video capture is really the camera, but it's not being shown here. Configure camera. Let's do ops virtual camera. Okay. And we're gonna do ops virtual camera. We're gonna do, let's see what other things we could do. Add media source. Browse G YouTube. My drive. YouTube. Okay. The it's playing, but I don't really hear it yet. So okay. 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 Media source. Video capture. Windows capture. Okay. Okay, I think this is good. I think this is good. This is scene 4. Scene 7, give them what they got. Give them what they got, what they want. Give them what they want. Okay, start virtual camera. Okay, I like that. Start virtual camera. Okay, I think this is good. Now we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do yes, and we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, that looks fire. Alright. So yeah, guys, that's how you do it. That's how you make $100,000 per month doing this. Give them what they ask for. Yes. Okay. Now we just need to figure out what is going on. I like this. Now let's see. Settings. Output. Okay, I think this is good. Settings. Yeah, this is good. This is fire. Okay, cool, cool. Dream big. Mom's over 40. give them, give them what they got. Okay, so um, why is it not? Why is it not making sound? That's what we're trying to figure out. Let's switch it to Slack community. Okay, that looks good. Website community. Okay, let's remove the ops. Let's remove it. Ops. Actually, start virtual camera. Okay, cool. I could just start it. But okay, cool. Freedom Fusion system. Okay, we need threads. Do. Okay, I think maybe my audio is not working because it's it's being utilized by YouTube. It could be. So I'm gonna finalize YouTube and try to get this set up, and then I'll show it to you guys the full setup, and then we could continue with all the other things.